then what we'd start to see is as the arms start to climb to the top, we'd start to see the weight moving back into the center. So by the time the hands get above the head or get to the top of the swing, you would start to see the weight be back at 50-50. Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking a little bit around weight transference and certainly how and when we should start the downswing. So let's get into it. So one of the most commonly asked questions I get is, how should I start my downswing and how do I get my weight onto my lead foot? Well, I think these questions can be linked. So commonly we see players, I would certainly say, go to the top, they really load up their right side and they start transferring their weight into the downswing far too late. So they actually only start getting back to a 50-50 weight transference halfway down in the swing. So just to go through the weight transference and when I like to see the weight on each foot, it would be about 55% of the weight on the left foot at address. And then as I start the backswing, because momentum's going to carry me to the right and my arms weigh something and the club weighs something, you would typically see around 60-70% on the trail foot at this point. But then what we'd start to see is as the arms start to climb to the top, we'd start to see the weight moving back into the center. So by the time the hands get above the head or get to the top of the swing, you would start to see the weight be back at 50-50. And as we continue into the downswing, as the club comes down, as the arms come down, you'll start to see 60, 70, 80% forward, all the way up to 90% on the lead side. So we're all aware that the weight needs to get forward, but it's the when part. So you saw there that as I get my hands from midsection to the top, the weight starts to go back into the middle. So I'm going to show you one of my favorite drills to really understand that without much thought. Now for this drill, you're going to need something relatively heavy. A couple of kettlebells from the gym would be absolutely perfect, but I've just got two Titleist bags here, two shag bags that would hold the golf balls in, and I'm going to place them under me like this. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to start swinging them back and forward as if I was going to be throwing them down the target line. So from here, as I start to swing these back and forward, for me to be able to throw these forward or launch these bags forward, I've got to be able to move my body appropriately because these are quite heavy, okay? So you can use anything heavy, a tall bag or anything that you can hold on to that's got some weight to it. And as I start to move these back, for me to be able to get momentum to move these forward, I can certainly feel like I'm pressing into my left foot as the bags are about halfway back. So as I get to halfway back, I can already see that I'm pushing forward. So see if you can notice it as I do it. And I can feel that I'm pressing into that lead knee. I am moving forward before the bags. The bags are following me as I start to work into the downswing and then I go through. And then from there, I can really feel that with a golf club as well. So if I now just pick up that golf club and try and do similar movements, I can feel when I press forward. And again, it was at that midsection time that I started to put some weight under that lead foot. So from there, I would start to hit some small pitch shots from there, perhaps. So going back to midsection, feeling I'm pushing through, and I'm going to hit some small punch shots to really feel that. And again, it's really hard because we're teaching rhythm and timing here. So for the first few goes of doing this, I'm sure it's not going to feel quite right and it's going to be a little bit out of sync. It's quite like dancing. Trying to teach someone to dance and get the rhythms quite difficult, and this is the same type of skill set. But as long as you understand the when, so I'm quite into as well that when the hands get to the midsection, we start moving across. One of the other drills I've quite liked for this, and I've posted many times, is that if I put my setup like this and then I put my left foot to my right foot, as my hands get to about halfway, I can start to stomp across and then start transferring into the downswing. But I thought that was a really interesting drill and a very practical one. And if you pick the golf club up afterwards, you can definitely feel the difference. So I hope that helps, and I'll speak to you soon.